Hey there everybody, Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. Today we are going to run through my top 10 favorites as well as a boatload of honorable mentions from British hard rock heavyweights UFO. So hopefully everybody's doing well today. I know here on the East Coast as well as a lot of my friends in the upper Midwest are going through a severe chill period. Man, just a little while ago, got up this morning, it's like 0 degrees out. I know that's probably like a heat wave compared to some of you in the upper Midwest who are experiencing minus 30, 40, and 50 degree temperatures with wind chill, but definitely cold. Winter is here, so let's sink our teeth into some UFO, shall we? Now, when I went through, it was pretty tough. A lot of really great UFO albums and songs. I've been following this band since I was probably like 13 or 14 years old. So I've had many, many decades with the band. My favorite albums, though, are those initial Michael Schenker albums. So we're talking about Phenomenon through Obsession. Though there's some very strong material in the early mid-'80s with Paul Chapman on guitars. There's some strong stuff when Schenker returned to the band. There's some good things from the brief Lawrence Archer period of the band as well as some really good stuff in the Vinnie Moore era in recent years. Now, I don't really know what the future holds for UFO. You know, if you haven't heard, Phil Mogg is retiring from the band. I know most of us kind of can't picture UFO without Phil Mogg behind the microphone. So whether this means this is the end of UFO, I don't know. If it is, man, what a discography they've left behind for us, right? So let's dive into my top 10 favorite song. Again, top 10 favorite songs. Again, these are all going to be from those early Michael Schenker albums. It's just kind of the way it worked out because that's the stuff has really, really resonated with me for most of my life. So coming in at number 10 off the No Heavy Petting album, great album, Reasons Love. A snarling, heavy riff rocker, man, with some great Schenker guitar. The tune is like 3 minutes long. It just kicks ass from start to finish. A very, very underrated song from an underrated band, right? I mean, as far as if I can divert here for a second, you talk about some of a couple of the bands from that era who probably should have been a lot bigger than they were. You know, we talked about Thin Lizzy a couple of weeks ago. I think UFO is right up there with them. Thin Lizzy and UFO should have been huge. Very influential. A lot of people in the know and, loyal rock fans from that era know how great they were. But as far as like the masses embracing UFO, not a huge band. Had their moments, but and it's a shame. But anyway, back to the top 10. Coming in at number 9 off the excellent Lights Out album, which I believe is their biggest selling album, at least here in the U.S. The gorgeous Love to Love. What an epic tune that is. Great keyboards from Paul Raymond, a blistering Schenker guitar solo, great vocals, just a stunning song. One of my favorite tunes off the Lights Out album. Coming in at number 8. From Obsession. And Obsession is probably my favorite UFO album, although I think Force It is probably the strongest start to finish of all those studio albums from the first initial run with Schenker. But I just happen to love a bunch of tunes big time on Obsession. And a lot of songs that I could have put in my top 10 for Obsession. There are a couple here. This is one of them. I chose One More for the Rodeo. I just love the kind of gutsy drive of that tune. And again, it's just got some kick-ass Schenker guitar work, both the rhythm licks and the lead guitar work. I think Schenker's best lead guitar work on any album ever is on the Obsession album. Just my personal opinion. So that comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, Let It Roll off of Force It. Great song. All those early great tunes from that era, most of them made it onto the Strangers in the Night album. And in most cases, the live versions are a little bit better than the studio versions, but the studio versions still kick ass too. Let It Roll, fantastic song. Coming in at number 6, maybe a surprise for some of you. I had to fit this song on here because I just love it, always have, from the Phenomenon album, which is the debut with Schenker. Queen of the Deep, the finishing track on that album. It's just kind of cool and mysterious with like a really meaty kind of Zeppelin-y thunderous riff. Very, very cool tune. A different song. They really haven't done a lot of stuff like that. And I almost wish they did. Kind of Queen of the Deep, somewhat similar, but not. They don't sound alike, but maybe as far as like the kind of the feel of the song, similar to like Love to Love. I kind of always kind of jumble those together. Both great, great tunes. That's number 6. Coming in at number 5, the fun, upbeat Shoot Shoot, Back to the Force It album. Shoot Shoot is great. And when they play it live, it's just awesome. So much fun. Great tune. Coming in at number 4, back to the No Heavy Petting album, Natural Thing. Gotta love that opening riff, right? It's kick ass. Mr. Schenker, I'm telling you. Something magical when you get Michael Schenker, Phil Mogg, Pete Way, Andy Parker, and Paul Raymond together, right? Just, and I know on the No Heavy Petting album, Paul Raymond was not on that album. But still, it's when you get those guys together, you know, you listen to them play that song on the Strangers in the Night album. Just absolute perfection. Coming in at number 4. Number 3, number 2, and number 1 are really special in my mind. Some of the best hard rock tunes from that era by any band. Number 3, title track to Lights Out. Doesn't get much better than that, right? Again, speedy and furious. Just Schenker-O-Rama. Andy Parker's drums, rumbling and roaring. Great stuff. Coming in at number 2. You know, I had a hard time deciding of these next 2 songs which one was going to ultimately land in number 1. For many, many years, my number 2 is actually probably my favorite UFO song. But in recent years, my number 1 is just such a classic. And it just sits ever so higher, I think, in my frame of mind today anyway. So I'm going to leave it at number 1. But coming in at number 2, again, back to the Obsession album, Pack It Up and Go, which, for my money, has the best Schenker guitar solos of all time. He's just blistering, throwing in fills all throughout that song. The regular solo is off the charts. The song itself is just like this hard-charging, just awesome rocker with a great, great, violent Phil Mogg vocal. Again, the drums of Parker are great. Pete Way is just pumping away on the bass, but it's Schenker all the way, just taking off to the stratosphere. Love Pack It Up and Go. And, you know, if it wasn't for this next tune, that would have been my number 1. But, man, there's just something about Rock Bottom that's nothing, totally not sitting at the bottom, sitting at the top. I mean, come on. Right. It's got this Herculean riff that just starts off the song, which is just killer. It's a fun tune to play on guitar, too. And then that lengthy guitar solo, plus the sledgehammer chorus. I mean, it's just absolute perfection. And it's just Michael Schenker's tour de force. Always has been. And when you go see Schenker live in concert, man, he still nails that tune. Ridiculously good. So that's my top 10. So let's go do a bunch of honorable mentions. I tried to squeeze, you know, they have so many albums. I tried to squeeze as many here as I could, but I obviously left out a few albums. I didn't touch on any of those first couple space rock albums. I kind of like those, but nothing on any of those is real, you know, prime UFO to my ears anyway. So I'm going to start with the Phenomenon album. Dr. Doctor, yeah, it's a great tune. It's a great anthem. It was never one of my favorite UFO tunes. Never, ever. Even when I first started getting into the band, I always thought it was kind of cool, but I know a lot of people are just enamored with Dr. Doctor. Fun tune. They play it live. Everybody gets up and starts jumping around. I get it, but never one of my favorites, but I do like it. Okay, so I want to make note of it. Space Child, I think, is a cool tune. That Phenomenon album is kind of weird because it kind of mixes a little bit of the first couple albums, that kind of like space rock psychedelic feel with a little bit of folk and some of that kind of real rising heavy rock that they were doing. Crystal Light's a great tune. Like that a lot. Too Young to Know and Oh My. Oh My is a great tune. So let's move on to Force It. Love, Lost Love. Great song. Out in the Street with its wonderful piano and sledgehammer riffs. Mother Mary was initially in my top 10 and it got booted. In fact, it got booted for Queen of the Deep. But I love Mother Mary. That's such an excellent song. Too Much of Nothing is fantastic. Dance Your Life Away and This Kid's probably is 11, 12, or 13 for me. Because that's a fantastic song. And again, even better on the live album. From No Heavy Pettin', I'm a Loser. Great tune. Can You Roll Her? Can you? I don't know. Depends how big she is, right? Oh, sorry. Bad joke. But if you listen to the lyrics, right? I'm just going with it here. Fantastic song. On with the action. Real slow, grinding, heavy blues rock tune. And how about Martian Landscape? Again, another one of those tunes that probably fits in with Love to Love and Queen of the Deep, where the band gets just a little bit proggy, right? From Lights Out, the hit Too Hot to Handle, fun song. Just Another Suicide, like that song a lot. Try Me, which has an amazing Schenker guitar solo where he does a little bit bluesy stuff, right? A little different. And the nasty, snarling electric phase. To Obsession, Only You Can Rock Me, okay? Ain't No Baby. Ain't No Baby also was another one I wanted to put in my top 10. Another tune with just fantastic lead guitar all throughout it. The gorgeous Looking Out for Number One. Man, and that's another song. I was like, man, how can I squeeze this into my top 10? Because it's that good. Hot and Ready, another heavy number from Obsession. You Don't Fool Me, another heavy number from Obsession. And Born to Lose, another really great kind of soaring, almost ballad type tune. Okay, we're going to the Paul Chapman area from No Place to Run. How about Letting Go? Mystery Train, probably my favorite song from that album. Young Blood, the title track, No Place to Run, and Any Day, a good slow builder of a track. From my favorite album from the Paul Chapman era, The Wild, the Willing, and the Innocent, Chains. Say that fast a bunch of times. Long Gone, title track, and Making Moves. Making Moves rumbles. I almost wanted to put Making Moves in my top 10. From Mechanics, another strong album. The Writer, killer tune. Doing It All for You, We Belong to the Night. From Making Contact, Blinded by a Lie, Diesel in the Dust, and the upbeat Rockin' When It's Time to Rock. From Misdemeanor, which is basically the Phil Mogg show later in the 80s. I like Mean Streets a lot, and I like This Time. The rest of the album's kind of poppy, but still some good stuff on there. From High Stakes and Dangerous Men, another strange lineup of the band. Saw Lawrence Archer come in for his lone guitar spot in UFO. Borderline's a good tune, and Prime for Time. A lot of solid songs on that. So Schenker returns for Walk on Water. I think Walk on Water is my favorite album of those kind of later era Schenker albums. You know, Walk on Water, Covenant, and Sharks. It's just, to me, it has the most memorable tunes on it. I find the other two solid, but not nearly as good. Self-Made Man is great. Venus is fantastic. Push to the Limit, Darker Days, but a lot of really solid tunes on there. From Covenant, Unraveled is really strong. From Sharks, Shadow Dancer, and I know I'm missing a lot of other stuff. Just, you know, those two albums, some good stuff. Not as memorable as the Walk on Water album. From the Vinnie Moore era, a couple albums here. I'm just going to run through this. We got a lot of stuff. So from the You Are Here album, how about When Daylight Comes to Town? Fun tune. And Mr. Freeze, probably one of the heavier tunes that they've done in the Vinnie Moore era. Skip ahead a couple albums to A Conspiracy of Stars, which I think might be my favorite UFO album from the Vinnie Moore years. Run Boy Run, Battle of the Left Hand Gun. A lot of really good tunes on that album. So there we have it, just a bunch of honorable mentions. I know I skipped over a lot of stuff. There's just too many albums, too many songs that I like, and we'd be sitting here all day if I just went through everything. So if you didn't hear any of your favorites, that's okay. It doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means I like some of these more than others, or I just, didn't get around to mentioning everything. But I'd love to hear your picks, top 10 picks in the comments and feedback below. Let's go back over my top 10. All right, so coming in at number 1, Rock Bottom. Number 2, Pack It Up and Go. Number 3, Lights Out. Number 4, Natural Thing. Number 5, Shoot Shoot. Number 6, Queen of the Deep. Number 7, Let It Roll. Number 8, One More for the Rodeo. Number 9, Love to Love. And number 10, Reasons Love. There you have it. UFO top 10 favorites from moi. Hope you liked it. Hope you dug it. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, here on the mighty YouTube as often as possible. We got more top 10 stuff coming up. Like I mentioned, we got Steely Dan with a special guest coming up this weekend. I might try and squeeze in one more top 10 songs. I know I got a Whitesnake one I got to do. That's going to take a little time to put together because I'm such a huge fan. I got Saga, I got Doobie Brothers, and Supertramp, Kiss. The list is long, as you can imagine. And I got a rant that I'm going to do hopefully in the next couple days, which should be kind of fun. So again, we'll see you next time, guys. Take care.